Hi. Now imagine you're cycling in a far, far away land and then you suddenly got a puncture. Now somebody offers you a Pro or a Pro Max. Which one will you choose? We're not talking about iPhones. We're here to make a decision between the Cycplus AS2 Pro and the Cycplus AS2 Pro Max.
Now, I'm sure many of you out there who are already using a hand pump or a CO2 cartridge for your outside rides is going to be able to relate to me to say that it's a bit cumbersome. Even with a CO2 cartridge in your saddlebag, it's actually quite irritating because it's a one-time use thing. And then if you don't have the neoprene sleeve, your hands get cold and whatever. And even for a hand pump, it takes donkey years to even pump up a tire. You can sit down there, pump for 5 minutes, and it looks a bit awkward lah. I mean, honestly, from a back angle, and if somebody videos you, it looks very, very awkward with a hand pump. So I'm here to completely omit all your problems in the entire world relating to hand pumps or CO2 with a little small product called the Cycplus AS2 Pro e-pump. It's an e-pump which is almost a very recent thing within the past 1 to 2 years of cycling. And although there has already been older e-pumps such as the Xiaomi pump or even the Funpa pump, I'm going to tell you why the Cycplus is actually may or may not be a better choice for you. So let's talk about the Cycplus pump today. And for today, I have two versions for you to see, which is the AS2 Pro and the AS2 Pro Max, which I'll be referring to as Pro and Pro Max. I feel like I'm talking about an iPhone, like this is the new launch, welcome September, iPhone 16, but I'm talking about cycling e-pumps and not iPhones. Now let's talk about the more obvious things, which is actually the appearance of both the Pro and the Pro Max. Now, obviously the Pro will be smaller than the Pro Max, and the Pro is a similar size to a Wahoo Bolt computer, which is what I'm currently using. So, as you can see, if the Wahoo Bolt is actually pretty similar in size to the AS2 Pro, and the Wahoo Bolt is relatively small, it means that the AS2 Pro you can actually carry it around in your back pocket or even in your saddlebag, which is similar to the size of 2 CO2 cartridges if you have any in your saddlebag. I'm a very proud advocate of saddlebags, so I guess this is why you should bring a saddlebag, because if you have any punctures on the road, you don't have to rely on people, and you now even have your own pump to go and pump up your own tires. That's provided if you got bring tube, so you better go and bring tube as well. Now, the AS2 Pro Max is obviously going to be bigger than the AS2 Pro. Now, this is why obviously with a bigger battery, which we'll get into that later, with a bigger battery, it will definitely be bigger in size. Now, moving away from size, because bigger isn't usually always better, let's talk about AS2 Pro and AS2 Pro Max in terms of their technical details. Now, for both of the pump, it has a maximum pressure of 120 psi, which is 8.3 bar for all you weird people who don't use psi. Now, it also charges relatively fast. So for the Pro, it charges fully in 30 minutes, whereas the Pro Max charges in 60 minutes, using the all-new glorious Type-C charging, which, if you're not on Type-C, it's time for you to hop onto the train because everything is using Type-C. Even the iPhone 15 is using Type-C, so all you lightning cable people, it's time for you to go and change. And for all you Android people out there, congratulations, you no longer have to buy a new wire because your current phone wire can charge the Cycplus pump. So that's one wire less to go and think about. Now, although the Pro Max is slightly larger than the Pro, it is still relatively pocketable. So you can still put it in your back pocket of your jersey or even in your saddlebag if your saddlebag is big enough to fit so many things in the first place. Now, I would say, for me personally, there is not much of a difference if I were to choose either one. And I would rather go with the AS2 Pro because it is smaller. I don't need to pump 4 tires in a day because the AS2 Pro can actually already pump 3 tires up to 80 psi at 28C. So how much more do I need to pump the tires? And it only takes 30 minutes to charge. So if let's say in the case in the morning I wake up late, or I wake up and then I realize I do not have a pump that I can bring out with if I don't have my hand pump, then I can just charge it the moment I wake up, go and eat your breakfast, take a dump, take a shower, brush your teeth, drink a cup of coffee. By the time you come back 30 minutes later, your pump is fully charged and it's ready to go. So that's why I think the AS2 Pro, for me personally, is a better choice than the AS2 Pro Max. I think no review is good without a sound test, so I decided to bring it out, test it on a wheel. But here is a volume warning, please be careful, it's extremely loud. I think that's enough buzzing for now, but if anybody wants to get a Cycplus AS2 Pro or the Pro Max, there is a link below that actually gives you a small discount and also gives me and help the channel in a way. So if you're interested to get the Cycplus, just use the link below and you'll be granted a discount during checkout.